Hi everyone. So we've got Tish here, and I've asked her to talk to us today about leaving a marriage that was where there was unfaithfulness and infidelity. I think as Christians, whether it be men or women, there's often a issue of conscience or conflict, and not knowing what to do when you're stuck in a marriage where there are major problems, and what does one do about that? But in this particular case, it was unfaithfulness was one of many issues actually,
It
but
was.
was the reason that you ultimately left. You want to tell us a bit about that and your journey, about getting to that place where you felt you could leave?
Sure. Yeah, I think because in the early days of our marriage, my husband used to go out a lot and play sport, and he'd stay late and drink. And then I realized that he was meeting other women and seeing other women quite early on in our marriage. Um, and then it became an issue, and of course, we would talk about it, and he always denied it and said there was no problem. But it was just a pattern, and it continued all the way through. Year after year, I would be in tears at night because he hadn't come home till 3 in the morning and crept in, and I'd find lipsticks or whatever else. I knew that he was having affairs with other women, and that was incredibly painful for me. I had two little girls, and I had to look after them. And so as the years went by, it became more traumatic for me, and they would see me in tears and see us fighting, and it wasn't a good thing. And of course, I was then became a Christian during our marriage, and so I started trusting God and holding on to God and hoping that I could get this marriage back, and that ultimately He would come to know the Lord and He would change as I had changed, because I too, wasn't perfect in any way. But I think what happened is that for me, we almost went in two opposite directions because he wasn't interested. And then I had to live my life and hang on to the Lord through all the trauma. And the Lord did give me amazing strength, and I really grew in the Lord at that time. And scripture used to literally keep me going. But it came to a place where it became very, very serious that he would go off to various places and have girls in the different places that he worked. And I realized that I can't live in this unfaithfulness anymore because it hurt me too much. It was hurting my children. And so I actually gave him an ultimatum that let us get this marriage right. Let's go for counseling together because had been to counseling for years on and off. And now I asked him to come too so we could just wipe the slate clean and start again. And he said he wasn't interested in counseling. So because of that, I realized then that before God, I could actually leave him because this adultery had been going on for so long. And so that was when I made a decision. There is no point in carrying on harming myself, harming my children, and I must just leave, even if it meant it would be really difficult. But we did. I did leave him. We got divorced, and he went overseas to live. And I know it was the right decision. It was hard for the children, and it was hard for me, but it was meant to be.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and we hope that that gives some of you some courage to know and to seek God's wisdom. And I think what I also hear you saying is that you sort of went for counseling and support and help along the way to see if the marriage could be saved.
Yes.
And I'm sure that in any marriage you want to do that. You hope for the best. But then there are times in our journey where enough is actually enough. And it's great that you had people around you to walk that journey with you, and make sure that you were making a good decision for you and your family. You know. Anyway, we hope that's helpful for someone out there today. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.